of indications we can point to. For example, we have a new division in the DTI called Trade and Invest Africa, and this is trying to pursue investment-led opportunities where South African companies would invest in other countries, and where we would probably be moving towards a situation where we have more trade in intermediate products, which indeed is the kind of area, if you look at world trade, which is the growing part of trading goods. We're also working on trading services negotiations in SADC, and that was dealt with in the work of the Committee of Ministers of Trade that met earlier in the week. But also we have a code of conduct for South African companies in the region, and it's really basic stuff, but it's saying be a good corporate citizen, pay your taxes, get involved in identifying with local development activities and so on. And we think that's the way to go for South Africa. As I said earlier, if we just simply think that we can continue to pump more and more finished goods into markets, and that's the way it's going to be, and we almost take nothing from anybody else, or we don't contribute to development there, that is a route that is finite, and we won't be able any longer, I think, to grow on the basis of it. So we look forward to the industrialization of the rest of the continent and to identify regional value chains and so on. What we need to do then collectively is to ensure that we have the policy space as regions and as a continent against the pressures that will come from the outside world to simply look at us as a market for their finished goods. I think those are going to be the challenges as we move ahead, and indeed those are the challenges we're confronting right now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, a lot of concern, it would seem, from other SADC member states about the state of the security situation in Lesotho. And then from what I gathered, you're being asked to come up with a timetable with specific deliverables and the timelines about what you're going to do to ensure that you deliver on what you've been promising to do.
Yes, certainly. We have been urged by SADC to come up with a roadmap, and that roadmap has to have clear timelines and measurable and achievable activities inside it. It is something which is long overdue. It was supposed to have happened a long time ago. Yes, we are going to submit it by end of September to SADC very clearly. Apart from that, we've been granted other things that were of great concern to us, that when we implement the decisions of SADC, we can foresee that there's going to be some resistance. And in that regard, we asked Oversight Committee, which is on site with us, to be beefed up with some of the security chiefs. As you can recall, on Monday we had a double track of security chiefs, and after a double track of security chiefs we had a double track of ministerial committee of the organ. This is where we made that decision. So I think we are pretty much on track. By end of September we'll be submitting our roadmap with clear timelines.
Now, among the critical areas of the, shall we call it, package of solutions that you need to be dealing with is the issue of, renegade soldiers, and some of whom may have to face, or the government is keen for them to face the full might of the law. Do you think you're going to be able to deal with that problem, and will SADC be able to back you up on that?
Commander of the Army was here on Monday presenting his case before the security chiefs of Double Striker. This is where he said he would really want to assist the government into ensuring that all the recommendations that appear in the Commission of Inquiry are implemented with immediate effect. He's not raising a red alert, but he's saying in the unlikely event that there's going to be resistance, he would want SADC to be there to witness when he implements those. So I don't think there's going to be any resistance. As it is, those who are fingered in the Commission of Inquiry report of Justice Pumapi will have to appear before the laws of court. And SADC has urged us to ensure that we allow the law to take its course.
Are you positive that beyond this point you're going to lay SADC's fears to rest, and you will be indeed be able to deliver on the package of deliverables that you have also agreed to?
SADC is content with our commitment, and as such they have pledged their support. So we are confident as well that we are going to ensure that everything goes smoothly as planned, as requested by SADC. So I don't foresee any problems arising.
Minister, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Finishing. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I want to somebody to work at family. What our raise a family. What do you have? What will allow you to be a papa or London and our London we cannot do. It's not like we cannot 2 days here. When I said I fly. Oh, good I have been so I let me come which I come up like a repost and that's how let it off. Let's see. What am I told Langaliwa? I want to do Loliwa. No, but they never jail.
Shall we rise as the heads of state and government are getting into the hall? We may be seated. Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, delegates, distinguished guests, members of the press, members of the diplomatic corps, all invited guests, good afternoon and welcome to the official closing ceremony of the 37th SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government. We have a short program this morning, and it will run as follows. We will start with the swearing-in ceremony of the Executive Secretary of SADC and the Deputy Executive Secretary, and this will be followed by the signing in of legal instruments by the heads of state, and this will be followed by the closing statement by the SADC chairperson, His Excellency President Jacob Zuma, And then this will be followed by the vote of thanks to be delivered by the host of the next ordinary summit, the reading of the summit communique, playing of the national anthem, and that will be the end of the ceremony. So allow me at this point in time to call upon Justice Dunstan Malambo, Judge President of the Gauteng Division of the High Court of South Africa, to move to that table so that he can conduct the swearing-in ceremony. The swearing-in ceremony is being conducted following the extension of the contracts of the SADC Executive Secretary, Dr. Stekomena Lawrence Tax, and the Deputy Executive Secretary for Regional Integration, Dr. Tembinkosi Msonko, for their second-year term of tenure. So I will start by inviting the Executive Secretary of SADC, Dr. Stekomena Lawrence Tax, to proceed and be sworn in. The swearing in will be assisted by the legal counsel from the SADC Secretariat.
Yes. Could I invite you to read the oath before you can swear? You can take the oath. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Let me hold it for you.
I can stay. Okay. I, Stelgomena Lawrence Tax, do solemnly swear that I will truly and honestly perform the functions of the High Office of the Executive Secretary of the Southern African Development Community, SADC. I solemnly swear that I shall perform my duties and exercise my powers honorably, faithfully, impartially, and independently, according to the best of my knowledge and my ability. So help me God.
Could I request you to, whilst holding the Bible, and raise your right hand high up and say again, so help me God?
So help me God.
Thank you. You can take a seat. Thank you. Could I request you to sign next to your name? Yes.
At this point, I will invite the Executive Secretary to take a photo with the chairperson of SADC.
Oh, the second.
Yes.
Sign them. I confirm that you have been sworn in before me, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and congratulations to Dr. Tax. The next to be sworn in is the SADC Secretariat Deputy Executive Secretary for Regional Integration, Dr. Thembinkosi Mhlongo.
Dr. Mhlongo, you're going to take the oath, I presume?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Could I request you to read out the oath aloud?
I, Thembinkosi Mhlongo, do solemnly swear that I will truly and honestly perform my functions as Deputy Executive Secretary, Regional Integration of the Southern African Development Community, SADC. I solemnly swear that I shall perform my duties and exercise my powers honorably, faithfully, impartially, independently, and consciously according to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God.
Could I request you to raise your right hand high up and say again, so help me God?
So help me God.
You can take a seat.
Again, after signing, I will invite the chairperson of SADC to have a photo session with the Deputy Executive Secretary for Regional Integration, Dr. Thembinkosi Mhlongo.
I confirm that you have been solemnly sworn in before me, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Once more, congratulations to Dr. Thembinkosi Mhlongo. Next in the program will be the signing of legal instruments by the heads of state, and the following legal instruments are going to be signed. The first one would be the protocol for protection of new varieties of plants in the Southern African Development Community. The protocol for the protection of new varieties of plants in the Southern African Development Community. The next protocol will be an agreement amending the protocol on the extradition. And then there will be an agreement amending the protocol on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters. So the protocols that are being signed are in 3 languages. So my colleagues from Secretariat will be taking them to the respective member states as per the language that they're supposed to sign. So that is the first protocol for protection of new varieties of plants in the Southern African Development Community that is being signed. The second one is on agreement amending the protocol on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters. And the third one is agreement amending the protocol on extradition. The technical team, is it possible we could have some music just to, in the background as we wait for the signing? So the three protocols that are being signed are the three protocols that are coming out of this meeting, as you will hear from the communique. A bit more volume, please.
In simple ways, it's about economy of scale. The different member states, what they are required to do is to put their resources together and implement projects which have bigger impact and benefits to their member states.
Well, I think the challenge for Mauritius is enormous. Very often had a member of parliament putting a question on one of the regional instruments. We have the SADC, the RID, the regional indicative strategy development. Since independence, Namibia has been closing the logistic hub of SADC more and more years. We have forecasted that we will serve SADC for the next 50 years. What do we do? In conjunction with national governments, their funding the right to us funding on the bill. We go out and chase the line. What we're trying to test back and see how best this same method can be scaled up as I mentioned, where lion can actually problem. The tomatoes which were being produced here, they even go across the border, into water. And we have even seen some of the consumers
The implementation of SADC is not done by officials. It is to be done and is being done by the citizens.
Extremely important to put people at the center of the program. We have to own it, we have to believe in it, we have to see the returns. The government also taken out the initiative to say, look, the industry needs or can do more. We realized that we needed to involve the community from the onset. We have a little short of difference in roles.
These are the instruments, a 3 kilowatt solar photovoltaic system on the roof.
The service is so much things that we started construction of the it's with a standing by ICT by 3 or 4 days.
So what is required is everyone to be and the commitment should not just be saying that I'm committed, we need to also and this needs to be done by all of us. Short of that, implementation will either remain the theory or benefits will be accrued compared to if we come to the yes, commitment and is the way to go. And so it's very high. In simple words, it's about economy of scale. The different member states, what they are required to do is to implement projects which have bigger impact and benefits to their members.
Well, I think the challenge for Mauritius is enormous. Very often have a number of question on one of the regional instruments. We have the SADC, the regional integrated strategy development. Since the independence, Mauritius has been serving as a visitor and we have forecasted that we will serve SADC for the next 50 years. What do we do? We projection initial countries, then come with the rifles, us come with the bullets. We go out and chase the lions. What we're trying to trace back and see how best the same network can be skilled as a prejudice where lion can actually the tomatoes which you are being produced here, they even go across the border into Mozambique. And we have even seen some of the consumers in Mozambique coming into
Implementation of SADC is not done by officials. It is to be done and is being done by the citizens.
Extremely important to put people at the center of the project. They have to own it. They have to believe in it. They have to see the returns.
The member states have signed the three protocols that I mentioned, but we have Zambia is also signing an agreement amending the protocol on gender and development. That's Zambia signing the amending agreement to the protocol on gender and development. We also have that's Zambia signing the amending agreement to the protocol on gender and development. The heads of state are still signing. Can we have some music, please? Yeah.
files technically written as a concept, but regional integration is a tool and it's a very important.
Yes, I do.
In simple words, it's about economies of scale. The different member states, what they are required to do is to pull their resources together and implement.
Okay, the last signing of legal agreements is the protocol on tribunal in SADC, which has been signed by Mauritius, and also the agreement amending the protocol against corruption, again being signed by Mauritius.
Very often have a member of parliament putting a question on one of the regional instruments. We have the SADC the regional indicative strategic development.
So the Republic of Mauritius is signing the protocol on the protocol on tribunal in SADC and the agreement amending protocol against corruption being signed by the Republic of Mauritius. We're done.
Some of the consumers in Mozambique coming into
Thank you. That was the end of the signing of legal instruments. The next on the program, I'll now call upon the chairperson of SADC, His Excellency President Jacob Zuma, to give us his remarks.
Thank you very much, Director of the Program. Your Majesty, King Mswati III, outgoing Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, SADC Executive Secretary, and all the senior officials, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. We have now come to the end of the 37th Ordinary Summit of SADC, whose adopted theme is partnering with the private sector in developing industry and regional value chains. This theme was carefully developed to build on the themes of the republics of Zimbabwe and Botswana and the Kingdom of Swaziland. The theme, therefore, is aimed at ensuring continuity and places particular focus on the implementation of the SADC industrialization strategy and roadmap in order to accelerate economic growth and development in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, this summit coincides with the Silver Jubilee of SADC as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of our community. It is absolutely important to acknowledge that as a region, we have performed exceedingly well over the years. Our region is undoubtedly politically stable and peaceful. True to the key objectives of SADC, member states continue to implement critical programs of the organization, including the conduct of regular democratic elections. We continue to be guided by the principles of sovereign equality of member states, solidarity, peace and security, human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. As we celebrate our Silver Jubilee, we saw an increase in membership of our community when Summit decided to admit the union of the Comoros, thus bringing the total membership of the SADC family to 16. Ladies and gentlemen, during our discussions, we bid farewell to President Eduardo dos Santos of Angola, who is retiring. President dos Santos has been one of the key pillars of SADC. We thus take this opportunity to thank him profoundly for his contribution to the liberation struggle in the region and his outstanding contribution to SADC. We wish him good health in his retirement. We also wish to take this opportunity to wish the people of Angola peaceful elections. We also bid farewell to President SADC eNCA of the Republic of Botswana, who is leaving office in April 2018. In this regard, we thank President Khama for his active involvement and leadership to SADC. We will always remember his leadership of SADC during 2015-2016. We hope that even during his retirement, he will continue to contribute to the work of SADC, particularly if we take into account that his age is not yet advanced that much. He still have energy and indeed the way to look at things. Ladies and gentlemen, during the summit, we reviewed the political and security situation in the region. We noted with appreciation the relative political and security tranquility in the region, with notable challenges in the Kingdom of Lesotho and the Democratic Republic of Congo. On Lesotho, we have welcomed the commitment of the new government to implement SADC decisions. This is highly appreciated by this organization, and would like to say to Lesotho, we are going to be with you as you work and navigating your roadmap. we believe Lesotho will never go back where it has been. We believe we have all learned the lessons, and therefore there is no need to allow the situation to get out of hand. In this regard, we have urged them to submit a clear time-bound roadmap on the implementation of all SADC decisions and commission of inquiry by November 2017. This is important, and I want to really note this point because these agreements were reached in a very smooth way without a lot of difficulties, and therefore that suggests that their implementation will be the same. On the DRC, the summit noted that it might not be possible to hold elections in December 2017 due to a number of challenges currently receiving attention. Accordingly, Summit has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission of the DRC to publicize the revised electoral calendar. The summit has also approved the appointment of a SADC special envoy to the DRC in the level of a former head of state. There are consultations aimed at finalizing this matter. Africa is the richest continent with the poorest people. Our heritage and endowment must be used to drive economic development for the benefit of all African citizens. Therefore, the discovery and exploitation of natural gas within our region should constitute the backbone of our regional economic integration. As such, Summit directed the Secretariat to facilitate the establishment of a regional natural gas committee to promote the inclusion of gas in the regional energy mix and in the promotion of industrial development. Summit emphasized the need to have concrete outcomes so as to leverage our natural endowments to change the structure of our economies and promote value added with the focus on agro-processing, mineral beneficiation, and pharmaceuticals. There is convergence among member states on the importance of working with the private sector in this regard. Energy security is a critical input to industrial development. This is an indication of our resolve to practically implement our industrial strategy and roadmap. In order to address the critical constraints of financing our work program, we emphasized the need for resource mobilization, including the operationalization of the Regional Development Fund. We all remain collectively engaged with working on improving the prosperity and development of our people. In this regard, the SADC integration agenda is important for our family of nations. The vision of a connected and prosperous African continent, the continental free trade area, should find expression in the work of the COMESA, EAC, SADC, tripartite, free trade area. As such, we should all continue in earnest with our engagements. We need to move forward with the plethora of issues on our agenda. We also welcome the solidarity displayed by the distinguished guests from United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, as well as the African Development Bank's commitment to support our program of action. I must underline that the presentation of the two gave some of us bigger hope, particularly when it came to very concrete things. I think the president of the African Development Bank was very clear about the bank mobilizing the resources to help us implement our plans. But equally, the head of the United Nations Economic Commission on Africa, in the presentation, made the point very clear of her understanding of our economies in the continent and what needs to be done. They were more oriented towards concrete things that need to be done. I think SADC must take advantage of that. On behalf of the SADC family, we wish to extend our heartfelt condolences and express solidarity with the people of Sierra Leone and the Democratic Republic of Congo that have lost their loved ones in the recent mudslide disasters. Before I conclude, I wish to express my gratitude to His Majesty King Mswati III, the outgoing chairperson of SADC, for valuable contribution and leadership during the period he presided over our organization. He has made our work much easier. In the same vein, I wish to thank the Republic of Botswana as the outgoing member of the Troika of the summit and congratulate the Republic of Namibia as the incoming chair of summit. Regarding the organ Troika, I wish to thank the Republic of Mozambique as outgoing member and congratulate the Republic of Zambia as the incoming chair of the organ Troika. I also wish to thank the SADC Secretariat under the Executive Secretary, Dr. Tex, and the deputies for their professionalism and support. We look forward to closely working together during our chairship. Your Excellencies, I wish you all a safe journey back to your respective capitals, and thank you once again for your contribution to the success of this summit. I would like to thank you, obrigado, merci beaucoup, and thank you very much. Safe journey home. Thank you.
That was the SADC chairperson giving us his statement. At this point in time, I'm calling upon the host for the next ordinary summit to come and give us the vote of thanks, and that will be His Excellency President Hage Geingob.
Thank you. It's the glasses. Your Majesty, King Swati III of the Kingdom of Swaziland and outgoing chairperson of SADC, Your Excellency, Mr. Jacob Zuma, President of the Republic of South Africa, and our new chairperson of SADC. Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, honorable ministers, Her Excellency Sir Commander Lawrence Tax, Executive Secretary of SADC, SADC staff, senior government officials, invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the SADC heads of state and government, and indeed on my own behalf, I'm honored to express our collective thanks to you, Comrade President Jacob Zuma, the government, and the people of the Republic of South Africa for the traditional warm hospitality extended to us and our delegation since our arrival in this historic city of Tshwane. We indeed relish our stay here and felt genuinely at home. I'm particularly delighted to commend His Majesty, the King Swati III of the Kingdom of Swaziland, the outgoing chairperson of SADC, for having steered the SADC region with dexterity and sustained focus towards regional integration through advanced industrialization programs during his Majesty's tenure as chairperson of SADC. We are grateful for Your Majesty's hand-on approach on issues of economic development in the SADC region, as guided by appropriate theme of the 36th SADC Ordinary Summit of Heads of State, which is resource mobilization for investment in sustainable energy infrastructure for inclusive SADC industrialization and for prosperity of the region. I equally wish to take this opportunity to congratulate His Excellency Mr. Jacob Zuma, President of the Republic of South Africa, for assuming the chairpersonship of SADC. Your Excellency, we are confident that under your able leadership, implementation of SADC programs will be successfully undertaken in order to advance regional integration and improve the living standards of SADC citizens. The choice of the theme of this year's summit, quote unquote, partnering with the private sector in developing industry and regional value chains, is a clear testimony of South Africa's commitment to the development of the SADC region through partnership with private sector. It is very clear that this year's theme builds on the recent summit themes and focuses on implementation of the SADC industrialization strategy and roadmap in order to accelerate economic growth and development in the region. As was alluded to by Dr. Songwe of eNCA during her remarks, there is an increased recognition in other regions of Africa and beyond the borders of Africa that SADC is a cohesive, well-run regional economic bloc that could set the tone for African-wide regional integration. However, there are some legitimate expectations among the peoples of SADC member states that the presence of SADC should be felt among the communities through implementation of our development projects, such as infrastructure development and many others. We should therefore continue to put the triple challenges of poverty eradication, job creation, and inclusive growth at the center of our developmental agenda. As we develop and refine our policy responses, let us be guided by the notion, as postulated by Joseph Stiglitz, that inclusive and shared growth is a policy choice. Therefore, whether it is industrialization, financial sector deepening, promotion of the blue economy, or any other matter, let us be inclusive in our approach. We in Namibia believe that inclusivity spells peace and harmony, whereas exclusivity spells conflict and disaster. Our development must continue to be people-centered and homegrown. To meet these expectations, it is of paramount importance that we constantly demonstrate our commitment to the ideals of the founding giants of SADC. Furthermore, we must renew our commitment to honor our financial obligations to the organization and implement our decisions and maintain unity. Your Majesty and Excellencies, before concluding, I would like to take this opportunity to commend President Eduardo dos Santos, the President of the Republic of Angola, and the people of Angola for taking the next step in solidifying their democracy. We have taken note of the smooth transition at the party level, which once again demonstrates that in a party, democracy is alive and at work in parties of former liberation movements. Don't doubt us. Huh? We wish the people of Angola well with the general elections slated for the 23rd of August this year. Similarly, we are also noting that the President of the Republic of Botswana is also leaving us at a young age. People are saying those of us who are old must leave, which is understandable because we retire. But when you come into this business so young and you leave, what are you going to do? However, tell the President we'll count on him. We are also going to use his talents, and we're going to miss his jokes, which are made in a joking way, but very serious ones. So please tell him we are waiting, we are going to use him. We'd like to thank also the SADC Secretariat, Your Excellency, for having been sworn in just now, because we have trust in you. Please lead us with your Secretariat to the higher heights. In conclusion, Your Majesty and Excellencies, I would like to thank you for the honor bestowed upon Namibia as Deputy Chair of SADC. In this regard, I extend my invitation to Your Majesty and Excellencies to come to Namibia for the 38th SADC Ordinary Summit of Heads of State and Government in 2018. The people of Namibia are looking forward to welcoming you to the land of the brave. I thank you.
Thank you. That was Namibian President Hage Geingob, giving the vote of thanks. We're getting closer to the end of the closing ceremony of the 37th SADC Summit of Heads of State. At this point, I'll now invite the Executive Secretary of SADC, Dr. Stergomena Lawrence-Tax, to present the communique. Dr. Tax.
Your Excellency Jacob Zuma, President of the Republic of South Africa and Chairperson of SADC, Your Majesty King Mswati III of Swaziland, the outgoing Chairperson of SADC, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Honorable Maite Mashabane, Chairperson of Council, Honorable Ministers, Your Lordship, Judge President of Ganting Division Courts, Your Excellencies, Heads of regional, continental, and international organizations, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners and members of the diplomatic corps, Your distinguished delegates, senior officials from both member state and SADC Secretariat, members of the media, a very good afternoon. I'm going to read the communique, which will be circulated thereafter, word by word. Communique of the 37th Summit of SADC of Heads of State and Government, OR Tambo Building, Department of the International Relations and Cooperation, DILCO, Pretoria, South Africa, 19th to 20th August 2017. Number one, The 37th Ordinary Summit of Heads of State and Government of the Southern African Development Community SADC was held at OR Tambo Building, Department of International Relations and Cooperation, DILCO, in Pretoria, in the Republic of South Africa on 19th and 20th August 2017. The summit was attended by the following heads of state and government and all their representatives: Swaziland, His Majesty King Mswati III; South Africa, His Excellency President Jacob Zuma; Botswana, His Excellency President Refugee General Dr. Seretse Khama Khama; Namibia, His Excellency President Dr. Hank Geingob; Seychelles, His Excellency President Dami Faur; Zambia, His Excellency President Edgar Chagwa Lungu; Zimbabwe, His Excellency President Robert Gabriel Mugabe; the United Republic of Tanzania, Her Excellency Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan; Madagascar, His Excellency Prime Minister Oliver Mahafali Solonandrasana; the Democratic Republic of Congo, His Excellency Prime Minister Bruno Nzenze Shabala; Angola, His Excellency Honorable George Chikoti, Minister of External Relations; Mozambique, His Excellency Mr. Odemiro Baloi, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation; Malawi, Honorable Emmanuel Fabiano, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation; Mauritius, Her Excellency Ambassador Mrs. Dwaka Kanabad, Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Number 3, summit was also attended by Her Excellency Dr. Ssegomena Lawrence Tax, SADC Executive Secretary; His Excellency Dr. Adisena, President of the African Development Bank; and Her Excellency Dr. Vera Songwe, Executive Secretary of the United Nations Commission for Africa. Number 4, summit elected His Excellency Jacob Zuma, President of the Republic of South Africa, as Chairperson of SADC, and His Excellency Dr. Hank Geingob, President of the Republic of Namibia, as Deputy Chairperson of SADC. Number 5, summit also elected His Excellency Jose Eduardo dos Santos, President of the Republic of Angola, as Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. President dos Santos is still in office, so I'm just clarifying because we are also bidding him farewell. And elected His Excellency Edgar Lungu, President of the Republic of Zambia, as incoming chairperson of the organ. Number 6, summit endorsed the 37th summit theme, namely partnering with the private sector in developing industry and regional value chains as the 2017 summit theme. Number 7, summit urged member states to operationalize the 2017 theme through implementation of projects which are in line with the focus area of agro-processing, mineral beneficiation, energy, pharmaceutical, boosting skills to enhance regional integration, and create a mechanism for the involvement of the private sector. Number 8, summit directed that a regional natural gas committee be constituted to promote the inclusion of gas in the regional energy mix for industrial development. Number 9, summit commended the outgoing chairperson, His Majesty King Mswati III of the Kingdom of Swaziland, for his exemplary leadership during his tenure and for convening a very successful investment forum on energy and water projects. Number 10, summit noted progress made in the operationalization of the SADC University of Transformation and urged member state ministers responsible for education and training, science and technology, and innovation to expedite the finalization of the preparatory work for the operationalization of the university. 11, summit urged member states to speed the process of operationalizing the SADC Regional Development Fund in order to support this industrialization agenda. 12, summit noted progress in the implementation of the industrialization strategy and roadmap 2020-2063, and specifically in profiling of value chains in the 3 priority sectors of agro-processing, mining, and the pharmaceuticals, and urged member states to keep the momentum and develop and actualize the identified value chains. 13, Summit commended the South African government for convening a successful SADC Industrialization Week. Summit noted the outcomes of the Industrialization Week and urged member states to operationalize the outcomes by partnering with the private sector in developing industry and the value chains. 14, Summit noted the improvement in the overall 2017-2018 food security situation in the region and urged member states to take measures to improve storage facilities in order to minimize post-harvest losses and they put in place contingency plans. Number 15, Summit urged member states to explore risk insurance options in cases of climate change-related disasters, including facilities that are available at the African Development Bank. 16, Summit approved the protocol on protection of new varieties of plants in the SADC region, which will provide for the establishment of an effective system of plant variety protection, promote the development of new varieties of plants for the benefit of the region and the protection of the breeders' rights. 17, Summit commended member states who have reached a 50-50 gender parity in political and decision-making position in the public service and private sector, and urged member states that have not reached the target to strive toward reaching the target at all levels. I'm reminded, sorry, forgive me, Your Excellencies, that I skipped the Kingdom of Lesotho. In those who attended, I'm deeply sorry. Just to add that the summit was also attended by the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Thomas Tabane of the Kingdom of Lesotho. Sorry, Right Honorable Prime Minister, for having skipped your name in the list. Number 17, Summit commended member states who have, number 18, Summit also noted that HIV and the AIDS remain a major challenge affecting significant numbers of young people, predominantly females, and that the high prevalence of HIV and AIDS is exacerbated by drug abuse. Summit directed the Secretariat to urgently develop a comprehensive regional strategy to deal with drug abuse and cyber crime. 19, Summit congratulated the new coalition government of the Kingdom of Lesotho following elections on the 3rd of June 2017 and urged the new government of the Kingdom of Lesotho to expedite the implementation of all SADC decisions. In this regard, the summit urged the government of Kingdom of Lesotho to develop and submit a roadmap on the implementation of SADC decisions with concrete, clear milestones and deliverables, and to report progress at the next meeting of the Double Troika Summit to be held before November 2017. 20, Summit approved the extension of the tenure of the Oversight Committee to continue acting as an early warning mechanism and to monitor and assist the Kingdom of Lesotho to implement SADC decisions. 21, Summit welcomed the commitment by the government of Lesotho to the implementation of SADC decisions and the commitment of the Lesotho to engage in a national multi-stakeholder dialogue to be convened expeditiously and the progress to be reported during the Double Troika Summit to be held in November 2017. 22, Summit reiterated the need for a multi-stakeholder dialogue bringing together all relevant stakeholders in the Kingdom of Lesotho, which will enable an inclusive and a transparent means of ultimately implementing the reforms recommended by SADC. This dialogue must be led by Lesotho, with SADC providing expertise to support the dialogue process. 23rd, Summit noted a number of challenges that have made it unrealistic for the DRC to hold elections in December 2017 as originally planned, and urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to publicize the revised electoral calendar in consultation with the government and the National Council for monitoring the implementation of the agreement. of the 31st December 2016. 24, Summit called upon the international community and all stakeholders to continue supporting the implementation of the 31st December 2016 agreement and respecting the wishes of the Congolese people with a view to ensuring the sustainable peace, security, and stability of the DRC. 25, Summit urged all stakeholders to refrain from actions that would undermine the political and security stability with regard to the developments which led to the escalation of violence and insecurity in the Kasai province. 26, Summit approved the appointment of a special envoy to the DRC in light of the political and security dynamics, particularly in preparation of the elections, and mandated the SADC chairperson, His Excellency President Jacob Zuma, and the outgoing chairperson, His Majesty King Mswati III, to finalize consultations and the appointment of the special envoy. 27, Summit commended President Joseph Kabange Kabila, the government of the DRC, and all stakeholders for the progress made in implementing provisions of the December 31st, 2016 peace agreement. 28, Summit deplored and condemned the extra-continental interferences in African Union member states' affairs, in particular the unilateral practice of targeted sanctions against Congolese personalities by non-African organizations and countries in conflict with the principles of sovereignty of state and non-interference, and called upon this organization to withdraw the sanctions and to avoid taking such measures in future by promoting dialogue and mutual respect. 29, Summit admitted the Union of Comoros as a new member of SADC and noted that the assessment of Burundi is a work in progress. 30, Summit was concerned that colonization of the continent is yet to be eradicated. In this regard, Summit approved the convening of a SADC Solidarity Conference with Western Sahara, after whose outcomes will be shared with the African Union Commission. 31, Summit reaffirmed SADC's support and the recognition of the importance of the reforms at the African Union, and emphasized the importance of complying with the African Union Constitutive Act and the African Union guiding rules and procedures while carrying out the reforms. Further, the reforms that are contrary to the Constitutive Act should be implemented once the Constitutive Act has been amended. In this regard, Summit mandated the chairperson of SADC, His Excellency President Zuma, to submit the position of SADC on African Union reforms to the chairperson of the African Union. 32, Summit commended His Excellency Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and the outgoing chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security, for the outstanding leadership and sterling job done during his tenure. 34, Summit commended President Jose Eduardo dos Santos for his outstanding leadership in SADC, and they also commended His Excellency Lieutenant General Dr. Seretse Khama, the President of the Republic of Botswana, for his active involvement and exemplary leadership to SADC. 34, Summit expressed condolences and solidarity with the people and the governments of Sierra Leone and the Democratic Republic of Congo on the loss of life and property due to unprecedented floods and mudslides. 35, the ordinary summit was officially closed by the SADC chairperson, His Excellency President Jacob Zuma, who thanked all the heads of state and government for attending the 2017 ordinary summit. And the 35 summit expressed its appreciation to the government and people of the Republic of South Africa for successfully hosting the 37th ordinary summit and for the hospitality during the summit period. Done at Pretoria, Republic of South Africa, 20th August 2017. That is the end of the communique for the 2017 summit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Executive Secretary, for the communique, that is what we have done as our last issue. We have reached the end of our summit. We'd like to thank you, Your Excellencies, Your Majesty King Mswati III, heads of state and government, and leaders of delegations. This has been a good summit. Took very far-reaching decisions, and I'm sure when we meet again in Namibia, we'll be able to see progress. We have reached the end. I am now adjourning the meeting. It has come to an end after a successful. The meeting is over. Thank you very much. Huh? We'll just respect the sing of anthems whilst we are standing, and then once we finish, we go for lunch.
Shall we all rise for the anthem? And they will be followed by the heads of state and government. The rest remain seated. May the ushers please lead the heads of state outside the conference room. No,